Hello friends and family, this is Erica. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm excited to share with you my first ever Christmas DIY video. I've taken time to thoughtfully create 3 projects that can either coordinate together or stand alone. You can also change out colors so that this fits your decor. Nearly all of my supplies came from the Dollar Tree for, you guessed it, $1 each. The description box below has a list of supplies along with where I got them. As always, if you have questions, leave them in the comment section and I'll gladly reply. I'm in love with how these first Christmas projects of 2020 came out, all with inexpensive supplies. These are each easy to make, budget-friendly designs with a high-end look that will add warmth, color, and texture to your existing decor or holiday items. I hope you enjoyed today's journey with me, and if you do, please give this video a thumbs up. Also, make sure you're subscribed and that you click the bell so that you get notified each time I upload a new video. So friends, with that being said, let's jump into our first project, the Winter Apple Wreath. For this Winter Apple Wreath, you'll need to gather the following supplies from Dollar Tree: a square wreath form, an apple decor sign from their fall decor, or you can use any centerpiece that you'd like, some garland, 5 or 6 winter floral picks, 1 bow from this set of bows, or you can really use any ribbon you have on hand. I also used hot glue, scissors, wire cutters, and 4 zip ties from the Dollar Tree. First, you'll need the garland in the wreath form. If you can't find the square wreath form, you could just as easily make this on a regular round form. Once I detangled the garland, I began wrapping it around the outside of the wreath form. I was attempting to get creative to avoid using a ton of zip ties or hot glue. I like to have the option of reusing the picks or wreath form, so by using less glue to attach everything, I can reuse most of these items. So I wrapped the garland around the corners, and this garland has wire in the center, so it does hold well. I kept working the garland around the square form, starting on the outside, working toward the middle. It's already looking fuller and beginning to really take shape. I used these Dollar Tree zip ties on each corner to hold the outside layer of the garland in place. Make minor adjustments as needed, and this will be the result. Now it's time to use our Dollar Tree floral picks. I'm showing 3 here, but by the end of the video I used 5 picks. When using Dollar Tree florals, I usually pull them apart so I can use their individual pieces. By the time you've pulled them apart and sorted them, this is what you are left with. I took the pieces and distributed them around a wreath approximately where they'll go. From there I used hot glue to adhere the berries, apples, greenery, and pine cones. Now this is how it looked before I added the additional 2 picks. So when you see it at the end, you'll see that the bottom is fuller with additional mini poinsettias. I decided to add this sign mostly because it is during the Christmas holiday season that our family enjoys things like apple cider, or going to a place here in Northern California called Apple Hill, where they have caramel apples, fresh apple donuts, and of course fresh baked pies. But this is a sign I had left over from the fall decor. I also wanted it to be used for Christmas, so I decided to get creative and incorporate the apple theme. I picked up these bows 2 for $1 at Dollar Tree, and while I wanted to use it, I didn't like the way it covered the apple sign, so I trimmed the ends and went with it. I kept making additions and adjustments until I was happy. I'm not sure why it took me this long to remove the metal leaf that came with the sign, but I suggest you remove your leaf in the beginning. Here I am making some more adjustments and additions, which is what you need to do anytime you're making a floral arrangement. After adding berries and pine cones to the top, this is our result. How sweet is this winter apple wreath, all for under $10. For our next project, we will make this naughty or nice sign. I don't know about you, but I'm sure both sides could be used in our home. Now for this project, I'll be using my Cricut to cut the words. If you don't have a Cricut, there are many ways such as stickers or stencils that would also work. You may need to change up the colors to suit your style or to go with what stickers or stencils you have. Other supplies you'll need include this Dollar Tree sign, or any of the Dollar Tree signs that have the same feature. Some matte Mod Podge. Now, I accidentally used gloss in this project and I regretted it. You'll need a 12 by 12 scrapbook paper or paint if you prefer to paint your sign. I also used a pen, scissors, and you'll need sandpaper or a sanding sponge. First, remove all the glitter from your sign using sandpaper. I sand mine into a Dollar Tree basin so that cleanup is easy. For this next step, you'll need the sign, a pen, and a piece of scrapbook paper. Flip both of them upside down and carefully make a template that will fit the sign. Don't forget to trace around the small rectangle in the middle. For the next part, I used the middle part of the sign to trace around so that I could make two rectangles to fit both sides of the piece of our sign that turns. Once I have my pieces ready to go, I start to use Mod Podge by painting it on the sign. This is the part of the project that I would change. I didn't realize I had grabbed the gloss Mod Podge instead of the matte Mod Podge that I usually use. I feel like the matte Mod Podge is a lot more forgiving and it doesn't show all the streaks of your brush or things like any place that you may have put a fingerprint on the edge or anything like that. But I continue painting on a pretty heavy layer of Mod Podge and then laying down the paper. Once the paper is down, I go back in with a heavy layer of Mod Podge, trying to end with all of my paintbrush strokes in the same direction. After allowing it to thoroughly dry, I decide to go in with my Sharpie paint pen and color the edges so that I get the look of painted edges without the mess. Now, it's ready to apply my lettering. Dear Santa, this year we've been... Note that if I were to make this again, I would have put the wording slightly lower. There's a little bit too much space between we've been and the next word, which would be either naughty or nice. Nevertheless, I added naughty, flipped it around, verified which way it went, and I added the word nice. If you don't have a Cricut, you could use a Sharpie paint pen and write the letters out, or use stickers from places like Dollar Tree or craft stores. Last, I decide that it is a little bit plain and it needed some texture. I got this jute cord from Walmart about a year ago, and it's a great thickness. I wrap it around the top and then bottom using hot glue to adhere the cord to the sign. Once your jute cord is glued on, this will be the result. Now in the comments below, let me know which word would be facing out on the sign if you had this in your home. Would your sign read naughty or nice most of the time? I think for my house, it's probably a good 50-50, considering the kids and the dogs. I hope you enjoyed this adorable sign. Dear Santa, this year, we've been nice. For our final project today, we will be turning 2 very sparse Dollar Tree Christmas trees into this gorgeous little tree that you would never guess costs only $2, and a precious tree collar for a few more dollars, and you're well on your way. For this final project, you'll need the following supplies: a hot glue gun, pine cones. Dollar Tree carries these in 2 different scents. I much preferred the cinnamon scent over the pumpkin scent that they have. 2 of these Dollar Tree Christmas trees, a few bunches of these berries, a couple of zip ties, some floral foam, wire cutters, and my favorite part is the most adorable tree collar that I've ever seen. So small. It's a mini tree collar. They have this at the Target dollar spot, and I paid $3 for it. I was very happy to find it. I started by opening both boxes, and I set aside the parts to the stand. Since we'll be blending these 2 trees together, I start by moving the branches toward one side. Then grab your zip tie and match up the bottoms of the tree like this. One tree will be slightly taller than the other, but that's what we want. We don't want all the branches to be in the same place. By offsetting it just a bit, the tree will appear fuller. After adding a zip tie to the bottom and then another near the top, you're ready to start fluffing branches. This is generally everyone's least favorite part, but don't skimp on it. The more time you take to fluff and even out the branches, the more realistic your tree will appear. I also folded over the top just a bit so that it wasn't poking out so far from the tree. Once the fluffing is out of the way, let's get our tree to stand on its own. I used a block of floral foam from Dollar Tree and put the little Target tree collar over it to ensure it'll fit inside. I decided to add these cinnamon-scented pine cones to my tree. Usually I'm not a fan of artificial cinnamon smells, but honestly, these smell nice to me. They're not bad at all. You're going to want to use hot glue on the bottom of each pine cone, focusing on adding the larger pine cones toward the bottom of the tree and smaller pine cones toward the top. Next, I added berries for more texture and pops of color. And finally, I topped it off with a bow, added some starlights from Dollar Tree, and my last step was to add some black felt to the bottom of the tree to disguise the floral foam and help provide stability. This is the result of our 3rd project, the mini Christmas tree. I hope you've enjoyed DIYing with me today. Please let me know that you liked the video by giving me a thumbs up. Each and every like you give helps to support me and my channel. Be sure to subscribe and also click the bell to set your notifications so that you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. Thanks for your support, friends and family. You mean the world to me.